Hi, bestie. You're listening to the Blind Box podcast, and it's me, Liz. It's another Friday episode. Today is Friday, July 24th. And I don't know about you, but this day, I just feel like I'm late on everything. Somehow the morning flew by, and then the day flew by, and now it's nighttime. Everyone's in bed, and I'm just going to post this podcast tonight because I am so excited that it's the 10th episode and we have a few things to discuss today. I want to talk about the new releases that Pop Mart has coming out for next week. I also want to talk about the 10th anniversary pop-up event. We have a special guest on the pod today. Linda joins us to share her opinion and review on whether or not it's worth it. And then I want to wrap up and remind you to please do not forget to vote in the Besties Choice Awards. We are crowning your favorite blind box series for the first half of 2026, and there's been a lot. So head over to the Substack, blindboxpod.substack.com. The first post you'll see there will have a link that will take you to our voting form. Thank you so much to those of you who have already voted. I'm so excited to publish the results. We wrap up our voting on August 1st, so we've got about a week left. Speaking of August, you guys will be proud of me. I did not shop the Demu Pixar drop. I mean, I looked, obviously, but I withheld. I stayed busy. I didn't go on Pop Now. I feel like that's a good accomplishment, right? It would almost be such an achievement that I could celebrate with a Hirono Mistwalker? What do you think? I don't know. Or maybe the whole set of the new miniature skull pandas? Well, maybe not, but I do want to talk about those. This week, Pop Mart followed their tried and true leak formula. We wake up one morning on a Tuesday to a grainy photo that becomes AI enhanced. The next day, we get a little teaser video. And then Thursday comes around and we've got an official announcement, followed by today's full product listing page so we can see the actual photos and videos of these Skull Panda off-mode plush pendants. Now, to be clear, I don't know if that's actually Pop Mart doing the leaks. Regardless, though, now that we see the full photos, what do you think about them? I was a little skeptical. I loved that first one that we saw leaked or previewed at the Robert One fashion show, but the subsequent images that came out, I wasn't quite as excited about. And so today I was very interested to log onto the app and see what there was to see. Overall, I'm not mad at it. I think that the small size is kind of perfect for wearing on your bag, but I do find it slightly underwhelming in terms of the product execution itself. Specifically, the Skull Panda's face plates. I think it's kind of strange that they all have the exact same hairstyle with like the tucked bang clipped in place with little silver barrettes. I mean, that's really a cute style, but I'm just used to Skull Panda series having a variety of hairstyles, which makes me almost wonder if this is kind of a mini preview and maybe we will see a larger full-size $40 Skull Panda plush pendant series soon coming up. I don't know. I haven't really heard anybody talking about that or leaking it, but it would be nice because in my opinion, it is pretty hard to beat a Skull Panda plush pendant. They are just so beautiful and so well executed. Labubu got me into this world, but Skull Panda is what really made me become obsessed. In terms of the off-mode series, I think there's a lot of things that it's doing really well. For example, I feel like there's a huge variety of colors and expressions and even a little bit of a variety of skin tones that we're seeing represented. The outfits and the styling of the girlies all feel different from each other. And I like the different ways that they're incorporating accessories like the eyeglasses on top of their heads, or one that's even wearing the full Meryl Streep Devil Wears Prada, Anna Wintour shades, and Rest Day with her jump rope. Oh my gosh, she might be my favorite in the whole set. I also love that they're $20. That feels like a really nice price for a blind box. But I do have two, maybe three complaints. One is like just kind of big picture, the theme behind this series, off mode, the idea of all the things you don't really want to do, like taking a break from them. It feels kind of like it's been done a lot of times in the last year or so. It doesn't feel particularly inspiring, I'd say, or unique or exciting. I think Skull Panda's unique and exciting, but this theme itself, in my opinion, doesn't even hold a candle to last year's You Found Me series. I thought the concept and the storytelling of that series was world class. Like, it just was so nicely thought out. But if this is a mini series, maybe that mini applies across the board. Maybe we're not telling an award winning story with this series. Maybe we're just releasing some fun, cute plush pendants that make us happy. There's definitely nothing wrong with that. My other complaint is that some of the actual execution of the dolls, in my opinion, leaves a lot to be desired. I know we're saving money, Pop Mart, but tell me why Mute Mode's body looks like a sock puppet. She would have been my favorite in the series if it wasn't for the strange shape of her body. I mean, I love her colors. I love her idea. I love her headphones. I really wanted to claim her because she could be my little podcasting girly. But I'm just going to have to wait and see some more videos and photos, especially when you compare her to the one sitting right next to her on the page, Low Battery, which has this intricate hood, boots, gloves, the whole nine yards. Like, she is so cool. She's such a diva. And then you look one over and you're like, oh, what happened here? Did we mean to finish this and forgot? I don't know. To end it on a positive note, though, what I do love about this series are the new little hipper dupes that they're making with the skull pandas on them. They're calling it a pop attach. I love it. I'm so excited to get my hands on one of these. At least I hope I can get my hands on one of these. And I am a little bit afraid that they're going to just immediately sell out like the hair salon little clear cases did. But I'll try my best. We are assembling a group order for this series, and that means my no buy is going to end 26 hours early, but maybe we'll have better luck in August. Actually, I do need to set my goals for the month of August, and I think I might try to do my one shop week a month again. So, if I want to be strategic about it, I would probably skip that first week of August and try to do like a mid-month evaluation of what I'm still wanting, what I don't want, and then kind of plan to push out my purchase towards the end of the month so that I have more time to sit with the things that are coming out. I'm sorry, I'm just rambling to myself now. This is probably not interesting to anyone else listening. I'd love to know what caught your eye this week. Did you buy anything? Are you adding anything to your wish list? Did you get any Hirono or Dear Birds series? Is anything speaking to you, as our friend Eric would say? For me, the skull panda from the new series that spoke to me the most was stay in. And she is the pink girl with the hair turban and the curly hair spilling out from below and above. I saw her and I just immediately knew she's staying home because it's her wash day. Curly hair girlies know that you have a wash day every week where you do the whole routine. It takes forever. And as much as you don't really like the process, or at least I don't really like the process of doing hair, I do like having an excuse to have, like, a chill, self-pamper, relaxed evening. So, I saw that one and I was like, "I need her." Definitely. There's others that I love, but she I could not live without. Okay, that felt dramatic. But you know what else is dramatic? Flying across the country to go see a Labubu exhibit. And that is exactly what my friend Linda did. If you are listening to this, I'm sure you know her because she was part of our mindfulness episode. Linda, whose TikTok handle is Sleepy Spoof, joins us today to talk about the 10th anniversary pop up and answer the big question: is it worth it? Keep listening to find out. I'm here with Linda, Sleepy Spoof on TikTok, and she is our rank and review queen. And she had the good fortune, maybe we'll find out, to go check out the Pop Mart and Labubu, the Monsters 10th anniversary pop up in New York City this weekend. And I couldn't get there, but I was so curious to hear from one of our, community friends what it was like in real life, if they had fun, if it's worth it. And part of the reason why I wanted to talk to Linda is because Linda has a reputation for speaking her mind on TikTok. If Linda doesn't like something, you will know it. And so I really appreciate that. I feel like Linda walks a really fine line between the typical TikTok unboxing content, but also just has the authenticity that is not as common for TikTok influencers. So with that said, hi Linda, thank you for joining the Blind Box podcast.
Thank you for having me here. I appreciate it. I'm super excited to be back.
Thank you so much for joining. I know that you've had a busy week and that you flew to New York and back, so I really appreciate you taking time out of your schedule to talk to me about the Labubu exhibit. Did you have fun?
My experience in New York was fun, but as for the exhibit,
Yeah.
I wouldn't necessarily say I had the best of times. I was expecting a lot more than what was actually presented.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
Well, walk me through if I am at the exhibit, like what's it like? Is it a museum? Is it like a retail thing? Is it just a marketing opportunity? Give me
I
the rundown of what the experience was like.
so I would say it is a museum, but even from the front of the building, there was no grand display at all. I've seen so many pop marts, located all over the world that have like these really intricate designs and figures, within like the first couple steps of walking in the door. So that was kind of what I was
Yeah.
expecting. If you did not tell me the location was where it's at, I would have probably walked past it. There is a Labubu, like I don't
Hmm.
want to say painted on, but stickered, I think maybe on the windows, but other than that, there wasn't much really going on the outside. So, I can walk you through the whole entire process of the exhibit because it was so short. So you wait in line,
Oh,
and
wow.
then as soon as like your time
Yeah.
hits is when they let you in. They scan your QR code and then you're greeted at the front desk and they give you a little package. And there's a super mini 10th anniversary Labubu keychain type thing that will definitely break within like 5 seconds. They give you a map of the
Hmm.
Labubu world. They gave you a couple of stickers and then they gave you a magnet. And then at the front, there is a QR code, and that is your chance to enter the lottery. It was super easy to win the lottery. And a lot of whatnot sellers, especially in the beginning when they didn't have a limit, were buying out everything. And I think that's the biggest reason why people showed up was to get to get those exclusive products more so than seeing everything inside the exhibit. So, you are met with a wall on one side of you and then that window panel on the other, and you kind of walk down this area and then you enter the room, and it feels so empty. The floor is kind of like gray and a little bit splattered. There's nothing going on the floor. There's some column pillar type things, like three of them supporting the building, and they just put some Labubu art on the outside, but it was like simple line work Labubu art. It wasn't anything colorful, anything special. And then on the other side of that wall, when you walked in, was kind of the story of Kosing and like how he came up with Labubu and everything and what this exhibit is and where it's been. And then on the other side of the room, you see a couple of paintings of the 10th anniversary. There were maybe like four. But again, this is a huge room. So it seemed exceptionally small. If they put it in a smaller room, it probably would have felt bigger, but it just felt so small. And then you keep walking a little bit, you're greeted by, I think it was two Labubu statues. Maybe it was a Momo. I'm not too sure, to be honest. There was a gold one and a silver one. And then you walk into the figure room, and there's a bunch of Samomos, Labubus everywhere. But the problem is, even the big Labubus, because the room is so big, they kind of look tiny. They had like some of them in these little window sections, which was super cool. And they advertised these Labubu doors, but you could only go through one of them. And again, it didn't lead anywhere special. It just led you through one wall to the other. Like you could look around the wall and like there was nothing there, nothing special. It didn't take you to another room or anything like that. So that part was the part I was kind of like really excited for, but I felt like it just was a little underwhelming because again, being in a big room. And then you enter the interactive part of it, I would say, where there's that mirror of like 1 million Labubus. You poke your head in and you see 1 million Labubus. It was really hot in there. And I was actually inside there by myself for a good majority of the time, but even that room, it was super cool, but I wanted to see more Labubus. It was kind of low, and they
Yeah.
really played with that mirror effect to make it look super stretched. I'm gonna be so for real, it looks better on camera. Not saying it wasn't impressive, it was really cool, but it does look better on camera. And then you enter the next room, which is painted all black, and then there's story pictures of one of Cassing's stories, and then in the middle, I think it was Freckles the Labubu, and that was really cool to see, but I kind of felt rushed at that point because I saw there was a movie playing, and I'm the type of person who's like very like, oh my gosh, I heard something, let me go see it, so I feel bad I didn't spend more time in that area, but this was a smaller room, but it was beautiful to see. It looked really cool. And then once you walk into the movie theater room, there's no seats. You're kind of just standing awkwardly with like a group of people. And it plays the story of Pato. And then after that, you exit and you are greeted with like Cassing's original sketches. And that part was super cool. I will admit, I loved seeing that part. And then they did give you a postcard at the beginning, and you get that stamp there too. And then you're at the gift shop. And that's kind of it. It's really small. Some people were saying you can spend hours in there, and I mean, unless you're looking at like every single detail of like every single figure for at least like 5 minutes, you're not going to spend an hour in there. So for me it was
Yeah.
just a little bit underwhelming. I was expecting a lot more, especially flying out this way, and I was talking to somebody else and they said they were pretty honest too, and they were like, yeah, I think we got the worst 10th anniversary exhibit. I was like, ow, that sucks.
Yeah, that's surprising to hear because this is not like their first run at this exhibit. Like, I don't know if we're the fourth country that's had this, but they've done it a few other places. So I would have thought that they would have used some of those like learnings to make it a more memorable experience. And like for somebody like you or like us who's actually like a big Labubu fan and a big like, fan of Case Cossing and his art and pop mart, like for it to be disappointing is not great. Like I feel like they kind of, from what I'm hearing, it feels like they missed the mark to make it an actually like cool celebration of 10 years of Labubu.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I wish I visited
And
like the other
yeah,
countries and cities so I could experience it and compare it, but
yeah,
I didn't. So I'm only left with, and I'm a critic. So that's another thing
yeah.
to keep in mind when I'm talking about this. I'm super critical because I had to fly all the way out there. So.
Yeah, the bar was high. The bar was high for sure. Um, you mentioned that there was a gift shop. Were they selling like exclusive items in there, or was it typical Pop Mart merch stuff?
So they had a bunch of like it was only Labubu stuff. So they had like the hair salon series, they had those Coca-Cola figures, they had the lazy yogas, they had all of those, the cups. And then there were some figures that were exclusive to the exhibition and most of those were sold out. But then there were those lottery special items ones that like everybody wanted, and unfortunately, the one that I wanted, they were expensive. I came in thinking like I was not going to get anything because they were so expensive. And I'm not a person who likes to spend a lot on figures, to be honest with you. So I saw this one. It was the Dree Labubu. It was a purple Labubu holding a golden apple. And I thought that one was so cute. And it was like so New York, But of course, that one sold out. And I was actually willing to spend like the $200. With tax, it was 207. But of course, it sold out.
Damn.
So that was like pretty
Yeah.
disappointing. Like when you make it to the end and then you can't even buy what you want because all of these whatnot resellers were going crazy with it. And, I talked to somebody who knows these whatnot sellers, and she was like, well, it's
Hmm.
going to die down in August. And I was like, I understand that. But for people who are here now who don't have the opportunity to go again, like me, like, it really sucks.
Yeah. It does. It does. I feel like whatnot resellers are interesting because they kind of have the like facade of having a friendly relationship with their customers, but the nature of selling on whatnot is not very customer experience focused, like so it doesn't surprise me that they just cared about themselves.
Yeah.
They just wanted to get as much money out of it as they could.
I mean, don't get me wrong, there's some really nice whatnot sellers, and they were there to get figures for themselves. But like there's also those
Hmm.
whatnot sellers that were like, yeah, that verbally were like, yeah, I'm gonna resell this. And you can even see the eBay listings.
Yeah.
For example, for the Dree Labubu, I saw them posted for like
Yeah.
$700.
Whoa.
Yeah, from 207 to
Wow.
700.
Wow. They're paying for their hotel for sure.
For sure, yeah.
Dang. Cutthroat. Cutthroat. Did you get the 10th anniversary Labubu?
At the plush pendant, I did not
Yeah.
get it. So originally I thought I was
Oh
getting
no.
a PR package, but I'm not exactly sure what really happened, but they did give me a package, but it only included one item from this VIP bundle, and it was the Labubu keychain, those mini ones.
Mm-hmm.
So I did ask if I could buy it separately, because I just wanted something to commemorate the 10th anniversary, to be
Yeah.
honest. Because I was like, I'm out here.
Yeah.
I need something if I'm not going to get that Dree Labubu. So I went behind well, not behind the counter, but I asked the staff behind the counter. I was like, hey, is it possible for me to buy the 10th anniversary Labubu? And they told me you can't get it without the VIP bundle. And I was like, really? Because I did hear some people say that they could buy it separately, but it was like $115 instead of 100 for the VIP bundle. So I don't know if that means that they ran
Wow.
out or they were keeping it exclusive, or maybe they were just like trying to make money in the beginning and then they saw how popular it was and limited it.
Hmm. Yeah, I was going to ask how much it would be retail price to buy that. 115. That's more than I expected,
Yeah, especially when you
honestly.
look at the resale market, they go for that price.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's surprising. Was everybody there making like content for social media, or were there a lot of just like normal people that you think were just fans and like checking out the exhibits?
I didn't see anybody really creating content, and even now on social media,
Oh, yeah.
I haven't seen much being posted about the exhibit, honestly. I mean, I could just be on the wrong side
Huh,
of
that's
TikTok. I don't
surprising.
know if you've seen more content about it, but I mean, to be fair, it
I
is the
feel like I
opening
saw a
weekend.
lot of promotional. Yeah.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
more
that's
so
true.
like
It just
promotional,
started.
and then that Thursday where the big time influencers went, you know. But
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
I think it's just because, like, like I said, it's a little small, like you get your picture at the Labubu dome thing with the mirror, and that's like the coolest part. But
Hmm.
yeah, when I was standing in line, everybody was just like I don't want to say regular person, but just a regular person. Everybody had like a Labubu of some sort. Mainly I saw a lot of like BIEs, like nothing super fancy, like nobody was flexing their ID or their chestnut cocoa. I did bring my ID though, I'm sorry. Because that is my favorite
I was gonna
Labubu.
ask which plush panda you picked. Yeah,
Yeah, and it's funny
that's
because
cool.
ID is actually not in the Labubu room, but chestnut cocoa is. So that's also why I wanted to bring her. But yeah, nobody really had fallen to wild. I didn't see anybody with the hair salon one. So yeah.
That's surprising. That's really surprising. Do you feel like this exhibit made you like appreciate Labubu differently? Did you learn anything that you didn't know before?
Um, I wish I spent more time in the room that I was talking about that's like dark and has the drawings of the story, because I unfortunately didn't experience that
Mhm.
story because I rushed through it. But I learned the story of Pato, and I thought that was really cool to see like another, like a Labubu and Friends story, because I'm gonna be so for real. I don't know much about the Friends part of the Labubus, because I feel like we're not exposed to it really in the USA. We don't get any Ted Cocos or Spookies or Patos really. We only are like exposed to Labubu. So I thought that part was like really interesting, but I don't think it explored it enough in depth for me to be like,
Mhm.
oh my gosh, wow, this is like I really love learning about this, kind of deal. There was more to
Yeah.
see in a way.
Yeah, I don't know much about that story either. I mean, I know that the artwork comes from like a picture book, and I'm
Mhm.
assuming that picture book has a story. But I don't know the story or the characters besides Labubu and Makoko and a few different characters like that.
Yeah, that's kind of how I felt going in. And yeah, I mean, I guess I did learn something, a little bit of stuff, but like nothing exceptionally amazing that made me like fall in love with La Boo Boo and Friends more.
Hmm.
La Boo Boo has, it used to be like my favorite IP, but then I was exposed to other IPs, and Labubu eventually went lower and lower on my list of like favorite IPs. So I wouldn't say I'm like a huge Labubu fan. Like I know there's so many people who are huge Labubu fans, and they might appreciate this exhibit more
Yeah.
than I do.
Yeah. Yeah. That's interesting. I feel like listening to your like experience of it, I feel more confused about what Pop Mart's goal was with this than I expected to. Like I really expected this to be like such a cool experience for like world building. And the reason I thought that, so I know that Pop Mart has Popland, they've got theme parks. I assume they have experience in building cool experiences for their customers. And I know that one of the founder of Pop Mart's goals is to become a global IP powerhouse like Disney World and have, merch and TV shows and video games and backpacks and, the whole everything, make all these different products with all their IPs and like be very diversified. So I feel like they really kind of, from what I'm hearing, it sounds like they missed such a opportunity to like take Pop Mart and Labubu and the monsters out and like make it more than just something you buy to experience. Do you feel like it was an experience for somebody, an experience worth somebody paying the trip fee and going to, and if it disappeared tomorrow and all you had was like your memory of going there, like was it worth it?
100% no, for me at least. I do want to say there was this
Hmm.
mom and dad and their kid in front of me,
Yeah.
and they said they were there with Labubu
Hmm.
since the beginning of the 10 years. So their
Well,
their kid was like kind of grew up on it. So for him it was probably like an amazing experience. He was running around, he was sticking his head through the Labubu hole, he went to the very back. He was like super excited
that's
about it,
cute.
And I overheard the dad talking to an
Yeah.
employee where he mentioned that, and I feel like for people who really love Labubu, like this is an amazing experience for you. But for someone like me who just like
Gotcha.
likes Labubu, not so much. But I do think with the whole exhibit coming to America, because I did take marketing, so I like to think of things in like marketing terms as well. I think a huge
Yeah.
reason why why they did that is because of the FIFA World Cup, because
Hmm.
Labubu and FIFA, they were promoting that so heavily. A lot of influencers were making videos about it. And when I heard the Labubu
Yeah.
exhibit was coming, I actually didn't realize it was going to open the weekend of the World Cup. And then at that point, it kind of clicked to
Hmm.
me, and it was like the reason they're bringing over in New York City is so they can probably profit off of this whole FIFA collab, because they know the whole world is watching FIFA. People are coming from out of the country to watch FIFA, and then they see Labubu on the screen. What am I going to do? Oh my gosh, they have a New York City exhibit. I'm going to be in town for a couple days. Like, why not
Hmm.
just stop by there? And then afterwards, let's head to the World Trade
Oh, yeah.
Center and let's go pick up some Pop Mart boxes. Like I did talk to a store employee in the World Trade Center, and they said they had to make sure all of their boxes
Yeah.
were in pristine condition because they were expecting people to come. Cassing, he was actually at the Labubu exhibit, which was amazing. A lot of people got to meet him. Unfortunately, it was mainly sellers because they came in the morning and bought all the morning slots out. But he did end up leaving on
Hmm.
Sunday at like 10:30, which was a little bit before I came. And he headed over to the Palmer World's Trade Center store with not Cristiano Ronaldo, but another soccer player. I believe his name is Ronaldo as well. And the FIFA Labubu was there, and they were doing all sorts of promo for it. So I definitely feel that's why it was held in New
Yeah.
York City during this time. And I do know that somebody told me that there's like building codes, which is why they couldn't have cool statues outside or anything like that. So I kind of get it on that behalf too, but I definitely think they were going in for the FIFA.
Yeah. That makes sense. Just to have another way to like interact with Pop Mart during that time. Wow. Well, I'm sorry that you didn't have a great time there, Linda. That's kind
It's
of sad.
okay. No, I'm fortunate enough to even be
Yeah.
able to go, and I have to thank a lot of people within the community for making my time in New York so great. I met a lot of like wonderful, amazing people that made the whole trip worth it, even if the Labubu exhibit, in my opinion, wasn't really worth it.
Linda, what do you think could have made the exhibit better?
So honestly, going into it based off what the person I was talking to said, they made it seem like it was really interactive. So I have been to Team Labs in Japan, and that's kind of the experience I was expecting. So, for example, some ideas that I started thinking of when I walked away from the exhibit is like you enter the first room, and to make it more interactive, for example, let's say you have to remove your shoes, but obviously have socks on, but below you would be the fur of the Labubu, and then along the walls you could feel like the fur of the Labubu, and you could just like kind of like lay down in it and kind of touch it, and I feel like that would be really cool. And then if you enter the movie room, I kind of feel like it would have been cool if they made it like a dome theater in a way, and then it's just pitch black, and then like Labubu's eyes start popping up, and like it's a slow build, and then the whole entire story is
Yeah.
revealed. Kind of something more immersive and creative in that sort of aspect. And even having like, I know the FIFA Labubu mascot was at FIFA, but even having a Labubu mascot there to take pictures with, that's another thing that could have like made it a little more interactive and better, and it's like memorable in a way, you know. That's something like Disney does too, to create memories with people. And I don't know, I just feel like there needed to be more interactive elements to it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that makes sense. That sounds very cool. That exhibit that you went to in Japan.
Yeah, yeah, that's a really cool thing.
If you're a big Labubu fan, it sounds like you're gonna have fun seeing the artwork and some of the exhibits. But you're right, it does sound like there is a way to like make it a more immersive experience. I feel like what I would have loved to see, as somebody that like nerds out about like behind the scenes stuff, I would have loved to see like behind the scenes stuff of like the process of creating the plush pendants, like
Mm,
different designs that they had and samples, or like what the packaging process was like as they
yeah.
decided on colors. Or I don't know, I just like, you know, because you've probably listened to this episode, I like the business angle of a lot of pop mart stuff, and I feel like it would have been cool to see some of like that behind the scenes stuff of building Labubu, which became like a global phenomenon, you know? Like just hearing
Yeah.
or seeing some of that, or like, you know, when you go to like Kennedy Space Center and they have like a little 20-minute video that just is on repeat, it
Mhm.
could have been just like a cool little video showing like the rise of Labubu becoming a huge thing, and like Lisa could like be in it and like talk for a few minutes. And I don't know, I think that would have been pretty easy to do for them, and also could have been cool to see.
Yeah, I really love that idea.
But
That's an amazing idea. Oh my gosh. Liz, you should
oh,
totally
thank
do the
you.
next exhibit.
I know, right? Yeah. And like I know that Pop Mart's also trying to do there's like a magazine they started, right? Called Playground. I
Mhm.
feel like they could have had a cool magazine area where you get to see this month's edition, last month's edition. I don't know, the process of making that a thing.
Mhm.
Some sneak peeks. We know they like sneak peeks,
Oh,
you know?
yeah,
Leak
of
some
course.
Pop Mart stuff.
Of
Pop
course.
Mart. Yeah. Well, Linda, thank you so much. I know
Yeah,
it's
thank
late,
you,
so I'll
Liz.
go ahead and wrap this up. But I really appreciate you taking the time and talking to us. I hope that we do this again soon.
Yes, I love this podcast, and thank you so much for having me on here.
Thank you, Linda. Thank you so much to Linda for joining me on today's episode of the Blind Box podcast. We had a lot of fun just chit chatting until her internet just stopped working entirely. She got disconnected twice, and then we decided, all right, this is a sign. We got to go to bed. What would Skull Panda do? She would hit snooze, put on her no alarm sleep mask, and go to bed. So maybe that's our challenge for this weekend. Find a way to hit snooze, slow down, build in some break time, recharge your low batteries while you stay chill. To the soft chaos, say, not now. No adulting allowed. Take whatever masks off you had to use for work this week. Stay in. It's time for self mode. I don't know. I just made that up on the spot, but I had a lot of fun thinking about it. I gotta go to bed. So, thank you so much for listening to episode 10 of the Blind Box podcast. Don't forget to vote in the Bestie's Choice Awards, and I will see you next week.